Hi, and welcome to a new episode in our travel series. It's been a year now that we've been traveling the world, and so we've seen a lot. So we're also taking the time now to look back and link what we've seen to some trends that we're noticing in the market. One of them is biophilic design, the other one it's the use of more graphic patterns instead of organic patterns, and third is the use of bold colors. So I'll walk you through what we've seen and how that has inspired us. The first trend that we're zooming in on is biophilic design, bringing all that nature inside, and it's a beautiful thing. So in the south of France we visited the pink salt lakes in the Camargue with its beautiful colors and beautiful organic textures. Another place where we really found inspiration in nature is the Fayoum Desert, where it's just a completely different sight than anything that we've ever seen before. There's a big trend of bringing sand patterns inside, and I think it's a beautiful way to bring nature inside, stepping outside of the usual green color scheme. A place where we found nature in a very unexpected place was in Cordoba, in the city center, in an old Palacio de Viana, where they have this gorgeous setup with all pots and plants spread out throughout all the courtyards. So let's look at a few places that really incorporated this biophilic trend nicely inside their interiors. One of them is local at Kloof 117, which is a cafe in Cape Town, South Africa. And they incorporated plants together with vintage furniture, antiques, and just really old items mixed with weathered items. And I think it's a very successful way of incorporating nature inside. A truly unique resort, eco-resort in Spain is La Donaira, and there everything is built around nature. The entire hotel is built around nature, and anything that's been served in the restaurant is actually grown and raised at the property. A very well-known hotel in Stockholm is Et Hem, and it literally says at home. And so there's a beautiful incorporation of nature, and again, just like in Cape Town, mixed with vintage and old furniture, and it creates this very nice well-being feeling, and you immediately feel comfortable in that environment. So if you would bring that into an office, I think it would be a great project to work on. Then again in Stockholm, there's actually two hotels that are all about nature. There's the Hobo, where they even have a herb garden, a vertical herb garden. And then there's Downtown Camper, where it's literally about camping in the city. So there's a campfire, there's canoes attached to the ceiling. It's a fun way to bring nature inside. Then on our side, we've been inspired, and so also brought this trend into some of our patterns. So the second trend that we're noticing is a move towards more graphic patterns instead of the organic, more fluent patterns we've had over the past few years. So one of the places where you can really see a movement towards more bolder patterns, it's actually, we found it at the Corbusier building in Marseille with the colored window blocks. I think it's really cool. An unexpected place where we've actually found some really fun graphic patterns is at an art gallery in Antwerp, Valerie Tran, where she built a special display setup with painted on the floors. In Cape Town, we visited the Muizenberg beach huts, and they're so colorful and so linear and graphic. We actually also made a pattern out of them. It's a great environment to get inspired. And during our visit to Johannesburg, we did a graffiti walking tour, and the entire city is just filled with bold patterns and graphics. One of the most iconic architectural places in the world, it's Arts and Sciences Complex in Valencia by Calatrava, and there it's just full of bold lines and amazing structures that can be a source of inspiration for so many graphic patterns. There's a few projects that we really like the use of more graphic patterns. There's two restaurants in Valencia, Kaikaya Sushi and Kento Sushi, and they use really bold patterns. In Brussels, Belgium, there's a cafe that split its interior in two colors, and we think that's a very bold graphic statement. In South Africa, we visited the flagship location of the worldwide chain Nando's, fast food chain, and it is full of graphic South African patterns. The restaurant is a real tribute to African culture and African creativity. One of the trends I'm particularly excited about is the use of bold colors, stepping away from more earth tones towards wild, happy colors. So there's many places on our trips where we found a lot of fun colors. One of them is definitely Guatemala. Their wall art, their textiles, it's filled with super fun colors. If you walk through the streets in Guatemala, you'll discover bright neon greens with lots of reds and yellows, and it just creates this very happy feeling. The Miles Aldrich Expo in Stockholm at Fotografiska really brought this fun feeling of the 60s back to us, and it's all about bright colors in those. Obviously, one of the leaders in use of bold colors is definitely Gaudi. So when you walk through Barcelona, it's full of color inspiration. How through the use of small mosaics, Gaudi really combines colors, and sometimes very unexpected. It's something I would love to see come back more in interiors. And again, in Spain, I mean, Valencia is filled with street art, and I think it's a trend we're seeing in a lot of revival cities, is the use of really fun street art to lift up an entire neighborhood. When you travel to Aswan on the Nile, you end up at these Nubian villages which were relocated, and in their African culture it's all about the use of patterns and colors that are very bright. If we look at interiors where we discovered the use of bold colors, Spain is definitely one of the leading countries. So we're looking at multiple restaurants in Madrid where it's really creating that sense of happiness through color. There is a really cool, hip co-working space in Antwerp. It's called Just. It's co-working, co-living, and they're using color very well together with vintage furniture. One of the highlights on my South Africa trip was a visit of Flame Studios. It's a recording studio on Constitution Hill, actually in a prison cell. At Flame Studios, the designer worked only with South African designers that are really emerging talents in the country. A great retail project with a beautiful use of greens and whites and yellows is Cuadernos Rubio. It's a bookstore for kids. We've created several carpet designs that really incorporate this trend very nicely. What I really love about doing these travels and bringing this inspiration to you, it's being able to incorporate what I see into these trends. And it allows me to bring ideas within these trends to you guys that are fresh and new because they're coming from different parts of the world. When you are able to take inspiration and ideas from different cultures and mix and blend those into custom patterns and material palettes, it's a very rewarding job for me.